Yeah, bring me the good.
When it comes to renovating your home, you've got to start with a plan, and here to make sure your next reno goes as smooth as velvet is designer Olivia Botrie. Welcome to the house. Hi. Welcome, honey. Welcome. Has anyone here survived a reno, guys? Any of you?
No.
No? Okay, I have, and they're brutal.
Yes, it's never easy.
Yeah, and you designed your own space, which you're going to share with us.
Yes, which I have to say is harder than other people's.
Yes.
For sure.
I can imagine.
Too many ideas.
Let's first look at some of your befores and tell us this beautiful place that you purchased here.
Spectacular.
Let's have a look, guys. It's there's the front entry, right?
Oh.
I mean, you can see why I bought it.
Right? I would have gone to this open house. I would have walked in the front entry and walked right out the door.
Right out the door.
I'd also like to say, we don't have smell-o-vision here. The aroma in the building was
musty?
It smelled like cigarette smoke, but it was still on my coat like weeks later. It was very, I mean, intense doesn't even begin to describe it.
But see, as a designer, what drew you to that? Was just because it was sort of an open plan?
Yeah, and because it was kind of untouched.
Okay.
You can't see, like, they hadn't put any money into it, and I hate the idea of buying something that I just don't like the aesthetics and pulling everything out and throwing it away.
Right.
But in this case, we had the opportunity to really start from scratch and do exactly what we wanted.
Let's see some of the beauty shots here. Let's just first start in the front hall. It's magnificent what you did. I just love the simplicity of it. Guys, look at walking
that's the same
front
place?
hall. Same place.
Yeah.
Right? Look at that. Wallpaper?
Yes, wallpaper, which is great in a front entry to add some personality where there's no room for furniture.
Okay.
And I also love that it's a little surprise when you walk in. You can actually see it through the door as you walk by the front of my house.
Oh, nice. And you created a little closet there.
I did. We
Right.
reoriented the whole entry so that instead of walking into this long, narrow hallway, you walk into a vestibule with a closet in front of you and then an entrance to the side into
That's
the house.
great renovating. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring back some of the original charm. So we added a paneling detail on the long wall and then added millwork that goes right over the doorway to the kitchen.
Look at that, right? There's vision there. There's a lot of vision.
How do you even see? I guess it's like my makeup artist. Like in the morning, I'm the musty, smelly, carpeted house. And by the time she's done with me, I'm completely made over. Pretty much. That's what it is.
Everything came out and then everything goes back in.
Right.
And let's look at the dining room, which you put at the front of the house, which I think is brilliant. And talk us through this.
I did. So we moved our dining room to the front because of the layout of the vestibule, the front room ends up being smaller, and we wanted the largest space to be for our living room. And our dining room, we use a lot.
Beautiful. Right? It totally makes sense. Yeah.
You taught us about those chairs before.
Oh, those chairs are
Yes.
fantastic.
What are they called? You taught us those chairs, Eames or
The Eames
something.
Eiffel chair.
It's an Eames chair.
Yes.
Chair.
I've been listening, Steve.
See,
You
there you
learn
go.
so much.
Let's get to some of your plans, your tips, which are for renovation are great. The first one you say is have a plan stand.
Always have a plan. There's nothing more important than having a plan before you start, because there's no bigger disaster than starting the renovation and finding out something unexpected or not being prepared as things move along.
Right.
So I would say always figure out what your end game is, and I always suggest to plan the entire house, every floor, even if you're only going to renovate one area at a time. That way you know what your end game is and you can build towards one cohesive plan.
The next thing you say is, that's great too, is succeed by design. What do you mean by that, hon?
I feel like it's really important to get drawings. I think it's important to have any kind of professional do them for you, whether working with a designer or not.
Yeah.
And if you're not working with a designer, there's lots of architectural technologists who will sit with you and help you put together the plan if you know what you want to do. And that way you have a blueprint that you can show to the contractor and you have a visual for what your expectation is of what the end result is going to look like.
And that's the before and after you have there. Because it's always hard to say to a contractor, you're kind of like this.
Yes.
And you're going to just be wasting money, basically, on materials
Absolutely.
and things. And maybe you want to tweak things and change it up.
And that's also how your quote from the contractor cannot be accurate.
Right.
Because if you're just telling them verbally how you envision it being, they're quoting a general estimate and they're not actually putting together a really thorough quote. And that way the contractor and you're managing each other's expectations and that you're giving them a document to say, this is what I expect the finished product to look like, and they know what you're expecting. Otherwise, you're verbally communicating what something physically is going to look like, which is pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever tried to describe.
No, we didn't even know what those chairs were called. I mean, we would need a lot of help.
And your last one here, which is really great, before we run out of time, I want to get to it. It's grab your materials first. And what are you saying by that? Just getting all the swatches and all the stuff we have here.
And selecting everything before you start construction.
Right.
Unfortunately, in this industry, everything is not readily available. It does take time, and sometimes things are back ordered all too frequently.
Yeah.
So when you order everything up front and select everything before you start, you can make sure that you have materials ready as the contractor needs them so that the process moves smoothly and moves quickly.
And can you quickly talk? I've never heard of this government rebate that you have, because this is...
There's a rebate.
There's a rebate, people.
What?
Listen up. Yeah.
It's called the New Home and Substantial Renovation HST rebate. The maximum I think you can get is $16,000, which is still pretty significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you
Wow.
basically have to prove that you affected 90% of your home.
Wow.
So you prove that in square footage, but some rooms, like affecting a room, can just be replacing the hardwood.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, so
I
you
didn't
can-
know there's a rebate.
I mean, you
Love
get
a
that back
good
at the end.
rebate.
Pretty delightful way to end the reno.
You're not kidding. Absolutely. Rebate. We all like that. Thank you so much, sweetheart. That's great information.
So
Thank you for
inspiring.
sharing your space.
Now, we are professionals here on The Goods, and nothing says professionalism like an afternoon cocktail. That's next.
Beautiful. That was wallpaper.
guys.
It was stunning.
Okay,
It's
but
so good.